Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording Wednesday, October 29th. Day the Celtics play the Cavs, which is later tonight, but we're recording before that and during that. So we'll get there as well. We'll get some emails. And how you doing, Sam?
Doing good, excited for the game tonight for now. We may be very disappointed with the outcome in a minute or so when we get to that part of the podcast, but the rest of it should be fun. We'll talk about the game. We'll go through your emails. We'll go around the NBA, talk about the first week of the season officially being in the books. Then we will do the rat list and get up out of here. It should be a lot of fun. Stick around through all of it. We are here every day, so subscribe to the channel, leave a like, comment. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com, as you'll see a little later in the episode. We do read them every show. And yeah, we appreciate it. Stick around. So without further ado, let's get into it. Celtics Cavs, first meeting of the season. Let's go.
All right, we are here after the Celtics win over the Cleveland Cavaliers on Wednesday night. Celtics improved to 2-1 on the season with a 125-105 win over the Cavs. A pretty dominant performance for the Celtics throughout the game. Cavs made their runs in the second half, but Boston just looked really, really good from the second quarter on. I think this, in my opinion, was a perfect example of when everything is clicking for the Celtics, and not even really everything. There's still areas of improvement. They can be a very competitive basketball team. So I thought they looked really, really good in this game. First home win in the home whites. So, Sam, there you go.
Equipment manager did a great job. Honestly, great job all season except for the opener. I mean, you lose a 1-point game like that, anything could have changed it. But overall, the players followed suit. Really impressive games from a bunch of guys. This was an awesome win. I don't really think a lot of us expected to see them win today against a good Cleveland team. Cleveland was without Darius Garland and, oddly enough, Sam Merrill, who's been awesome for them this year. So I don't want to kind of start this without, giving them the grace that they're kind of due.
Just before we continue, sorry. Whenever we say they were without this person, Celtics are without Jason Tatum.
Yeah, no. I'm not disregarding that either.
I know.
I'm not just saying
that's just for all the Twitter heads. That's just for all the motherfuckers who are going to say that every game.
Well, the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm trying to present it this way because I don't want people to think that we're either one, ignoring it, or two, by me saying it, trying to discredit the team. The team played who was out there, and they took a tremendous punch in the first half. Like, Cleveland was not missing shots. They shot 10 of 12 from three in the first quarter. And the Celtics only ended up trailing in that quarter because Donovan Mitchell made the craziest step back, one-legged 3-over-2 guys to end the quarter. Like, they did a really good job of keeping pace. They didn't get discouraged. They didn't get sped up. They handled it perfectly. And then you mentioned the second quarter. That was a great quarter of Celtics basketball. Celtics continued to stay hot while Cleveland kind of cooled off a little bit. Had maybe the best Jaylen stretch of the season where he just completely took over, shot 6 of 7 in the quarter for 18 points, went nuclear. Jaylen, in particular, has been a really interesting watch this season because he just kind of picks his spots. You asked the question after the game, and I thought it was a fair question, even though they didn't really give you a great answer to it. He's not taking more shots because he's supposed to be the guy. He's not forcing shots because he's not supposed to be the guy. He's just stepping in and doing what's needed of him when it is time for him to do so. And that clearly was a point to do that because of how well Cleveland was playing. Then the Celtics just kind of did a good job of maintaining a lead. Never let the Cavs get within 9, I think, in the second half. They kept them at a good distance. Really good job by the bench guys holding that off. 1-1, who I want to talk about is Josh Minott. It's my story for the Heart of Houdini tonight. Josh Minott is probably my favorite player. I think he's just awesome. Celtics are undefeated when he starts. He does everything. He finished tonight 11 points, 13 rebounds, 3 steals, and a block with 2 assists. But he was immediately thrown on Evan Mobley, which you pointed out on Twitter to start the game. And Evan Mobley was in hell. Evan Mobley was in shambles. He was getting picked up in the backcourt. He didn't know what to do. And then he would get the ball in the front court. Minott was hounding him. Nick NBA put some great clips on Twitter of it. If you didn't see it live, go look it up. Minott's defense on Evan Mobley was fantastic. There was a point in this game where he was 3 of 10 for 8 points. He ended up with 19 points, and he got a lot of his points when either Minott was not in the game or he switched off of him. So big credit to Josh Minott, who just continues to be an incredible story early in this season.
Josh Minott is awesome. I don't know if I told you about this. When I made that Josh Minott video before the season started, I was like, oh, he could fill the Kristaps or Rob role as the help over defender, which he's done a pretty good job about, by the way. Timberwolves fans were just shitting on the guy in the replies. They just were like, he stinks, he can't play, he can't pay attention. In New Orleans, Josh Minott was like, the fans have thought my defense has been ass for years. And then he was basically like, but they're fans. What the fuck do they know? Like, what do they know? And I don't know if it was just there were guys ahead of him. I don't know if it wasn't the right system. If I'm a Timberwolves fan, I'm pissed. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Why wasn't Chris Finch playing him? Who was this guy? Was the role wrong? I don't think you could pluck out a better fit for a role player in this current Celtics system than Josh Minott. He is the best, point blank period, no further part of the sentence. He is the best rebounder on this Boston Celtics team. No, I like Anish Kate is great. He's played great. He's been a good rebounder, but he's had some. Josh Minott is the best rebounder on this team. Finished this game 14 boards, 9 defensive rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds.
Oh, they gave him
3
14?
steal. Yeah.
Where do you see that?
He ended up 14.
Okay.
I'll
change that when I write this. Okay, thank you.
NBA.com. 2 assists, 3 steals, and a block also. Only 1 turnover. 11 points, 14 rebounds, final stat line. 4 of 9 from the field. 2 of 6 from 3. If he's making threes, even at like a 33, 34% clip on like 4 or 5 average a game, this is like an incredible contract. And not only that, but I need to emphasize this specifically for, I can't get this name wrong. Evan in the chat. Is that who it is? Who comes in and shits on Joe every game? Who is it in the pregame chat? Who comes in? Is it not Evan?
It might be Evan. Thank you for listening.
Sorry if it's not you, Evan. Thank you for listening. If there's one thing I've learned for the last 2 games, this defensive system works if they rebound the basketball. Joe Mazzulla cannot control if they rebound the basketball. The Celtics just beat a Cleveland Cavaliers team that a lot of people believe is the best or second or third best team in the Eastern Conference handedly. After they got mollywopped in the first quarter, like Sam mentioned, they got killed. Cleveland couldn't miss. You tweeted out they're playing fucking 2K in the first quarter. Yeah, it was
like this year's 2K, but they didn't get killed because they hung in there. Like that was the impressive part too.
This is what I was going to say. They hung in there, dropped a 40 bomb of their own in the first quarter, and then held the Cavs to 18, 25, and 20 points in the next 3 quarters. This defense is legit. The Celtics are going to win games because of their defense this year. Josh Minott is a crucial part of their defense, and Joe Mazzulla deserves a ton of credit for how good this defense is going to be this year. Like we talked about at the start, he should get credit if this Celtics team is good. I think the Celtics team are going to be good, and I think he deserves credit.
This is like we're both drunk on the Kool-Aid type stuff because the expectations being shattered of this game tonight. But Josh Minott, I want to build on your point about him being a great rebounder. I think he fills the Tatum void. Like in his 2 starts, he had 9 in New Orleans. No, the Tatum void of rebounding. The Tatum void of rebounding. Tatum void of rebounding.
I was like, add a word.
9 rebounds in New Orleans, 14 tonight. That's going to equate to an average of 11.5 per game of 2 games. But if he's able to give you that, it solves a lot of your problems because I think something that they're really missing, and it might sound ridiculous to put it this way, but a mobile rebounder. Neemias Queta is a good rebounder because he's big and he can get position, but they don't have somebody who's athletic enough to come in and snag these more loose ball rebounds. Minott is credited with 14. He probably created 18. There were 3 or 4 times in this game where he sprinted into traffic, got his hand to the loose ball and tipped it to a teammate instead of the other team just getting an offensive rebound. He saved the Celtics from that. And that's not really something you can expect from somebody who's just a big body that's really good at controlling the glass via position. He is a chaotic rebounder, and it's something I think that the Celtics really are going to benefit from the more and more that they play him. And, he's got a similar size to Tatum. He's not as muscular, but he's athletic enough. Clearly, you can see him dunk the basketball, do windmills, do whatever, all the dunks he did in the preseason. He can get up there and get rebounds for you. So big credit to him for just giving it his all. I think he's been an awesome story. He was somebody you talked about the Timberwolves fans saying this guy stinks or whatever. I'm sure they had some reason to feel like that. Clearly didn't fit Minnesota. And this is last chance team for Josh Minott. If he doesn't play well here, his NBA career could be over. And he has taken that opportunity and ran with it through 5 games and also the preseason. I don't want to discount the preseason because it was the first time he got to play with a lot of these guys, and he was just as noticeably impactful in those games as he's been throughout the actual minutes he's played in the regular season.
Yeah, he's absolutely doing exactly what you just said with the Tatum rebounding. That's phenomenal, observation. He's doing a great job. Before we do continue, I want to tell you guys about PrizePicks. PrizePicks, the best place to get real money sports action this basketball season, this football season, which is also going on right now. Make sure to check it out. This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks, which now offers stacks, which is something that a lot of other apps don't give you. Stacks means you can pick the same player up to 3 times in your same lineup. If you want Josh Minott rebounds, you want Josh Minott threes, you want Josh Minott blocks, you can take them, put them in the same lineup. You can run with it. This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss the excitement this basketball season on PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. And you can be right about Josh Minott. You can be very right about Josh Minott.
Why not?
Why not? Why not be right about?
He has
Josh
nothing
Minott?
To do with any of this advertisement.
Regardless, you can also follow other players directly in the app and copy their lineups in one click, whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or someone whose picks you like. Hit the follow button and check out every lineup every lineup they create, in the new feed tab on PrizePicks. You can also rock with the Patriots, who are red hot. Drake May, again, can be stacked. You can take Drake May, or you can take multiple. You can take Drake May and Josh Minott. Why not? Mix and match the sports. Download the app today. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineup after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineup after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. But yes, Josh Minott was the absolute star in this game, at least based on what we saw, like the on-court product and expectations leveled to what actually happened.
Put this final word on this Minott stuff, because I feel like people don't necessarily consume this properly. Like when we gas up a guy like this, we're not saying that he's like a superstar player, but he is going to be a really impactful role player on the Celtics probably for like a couple years now. He's under contract this year and next year on like a near minimum. And if they decide to make a real run at it next year when Tatum's healthy, he'll certainly be playing some sort of rotation minutes in that team. So this isn't to say he's going to average 25 points a game and 11 rebounds someday and make a bunch of threes. It's like, no, he's going to come in and play defense and play hard, and people are really going to enjoy rooting for him.
Yes. We have to talk about Jaylen Brown. 12 of 20, 4 of 9.
Absolutely.
Unbelievably efficient. 30 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal block. Like you said, sort of just taking what the defense gives him and playing within the flow of things. It has been so fun to watch the way this offense just molds around the way Jaylen Brown wants to play. Like he is picking his spots in the mid-range. He's pulling up. He's hitting the turnarounds. He had a ridiculous 3 at the end of the first half today. It is not like let's just have Jaylen Brown play the Tatum role. It is Jaylen Brown is going to do what Jaylen Brown does best, and the rest of the offense is going to take its place within that. It is Jaylen Brown driving, kicking out two, but he's not doing it. He's doing some of it out of the pick and roll like Tatum did, but a lot of it is just him isolation, backing up, them sending two because they don't want him to hit a turnaround midi or getting the hoop, and working from there. His activity on the glass tonight was just worlds better than it was in that Pistons game. He was awesome on the boards in this one. He only had 5, but the amount of times he boxed out for somebody else to get a rebound was huge. Defensive activity was great. He's playing within the flow of the system beautifully. He is like Joe Mazzulla said after the game, he's like this system like fits Jaylen's a lot of his best skills, and you can see it perfectly. So credit to him. Josh Minott in the locker room talked about I love it's been great playing with him. You can tell the leadership role he's taking on. Like he's taking a huge leap as a vocal leader. I wasn't here last year, but he's taking that leap. And I mean, he was vocal last year, so he's taking another leap. Like he's doing a great job. So Jaylen deserves a ton of credit.
Yeah, he absolutely does. Jaylen's been awesome. I almost feel like this is like a really underdog Celtics team, like where just about every individual, maybe some guys are like really underachieving because people believed in them. But Jaylen's one of those guys that a lot of people naturally doubt. Like they don't really feel like he's the real deal. They feel like Tatum's responsible for a lot of his success. And, those two obviously play well together. But to see him really thrive, he's been efficient every game. This isn't like, wow, Jaylen had a really good game, had 30 points tonight. We should all praise him. No, he's been good through 4-5 games now. He has been the focal point of the opposing defense. He has shot incredibly efficient. Tonight in particular, he did not turn the ball over. He's had sloppy games throughout the season so far. Only 2 turnovers, or maybe only even 1, not more than 2 in this game, despite 30 points, 20 attempts from the field, or whatever he had. I just am really impressed with how he just kind of reads what the game needs from him as a star, and he gave it to him today. He, even in the second half when he had cooled off, like nowhere near as ballistic as the second quarter. It was clear right after halftime you were going to get that from Jaylen. He had a heat check, and he didn't even really come close on it. Still had some big buckets as the Cavs were making their way back into the game. Made some tough layups, finished through traffic. I really like what we've seen from him. I think he's taking a lot of pride in this team, and, you're seeing it in his play. And you're seeing it with the way he's supporting these guys, too. Like, he had a really interesting answer to Justin Turpin tonight at the podium, very last question of the press conference, where Justin kind of asked him, like, what have you really learned, if anything, through these, it's very early in the season. He said all of this to Jaylen, and Jaylen was just very intentional about being like, look, like, a lot of the same stuff we've heard him say, like, a lot of time to grow, have to learn to play together, but he really made sure he stressed, like, believing in this team. Like, he's like, we're not even close to our ceiling yet. It's not like, I joked about it a lot over the last week where, like, in training camp, he was like, it's going to take time. It's going to take time. It's going to take time. And he was kind of trying to pump the brakes on any, like, overachieving excitement about the Celtics team. But he really seems to believe in this group, and they've done a great job backing him up in these last couple games, which is honestly the difference maker because he's been good through all of them.
Yeah. Jaylen's been incredible. I have been the biggest doubter of Neemias Queta for a long time. He has been awesome. He's been unbelievable through these first few games. He still has the moments of, like, what are you doing? The Detroit game wasn't pretty. This game, New Orleans game, even the first game of the season was pretty good. Just great. 10 points, 13 rebounds, 8 defensive, 5 offensive, 3 steals, 3 assists, only 1 turnover, only 1 foul. Played 25-39 in this game. Give him all the credit in the world, man. He got to the line 6 times, made 4 free throws. Like, he has done everything the Celtics need from him. He's not going to be, I mean, shit, I don't know what he's going to be anymore. It seems unlikely that he's going to be, superstar, starting center on the next group, blah, blah, blah. He looks extremely more than capable of being a serviceable center for a competitive basketball team, as I believe the Celtics team can be when everything gets rolling. So he deserves all the credit in the world.
Yeah, I think one thing about Nemi that makes him somebody that a lot of fans gravitate towards, like, and they would gravitate towards in the past, is he does a lot of highlight level stuff. Like, he'll have loud dunks. Like, he had an alley-oop in this game. He'll block shots. Like, he has a big body. Like, he has a lot of things you look for. Like, if you're internally building a center in your head of, like, this guy be sick to watch. Traditionally, he has not done a lot of the things that he needs to do to keep himself on the floor, which is being patient, disciplined on defense, doing a good job being in the right place in the right time on offense, finishing around the rim on offense. Like, there have been a lot of weaknesses in his game that we've well documented on the show. First of all, that doesn't mean that we're rooting against him, just so you guys know. But he has completely avoided all of that this year. He's been really impressive. He's taken on this role with a lot of, like, just, is grace the word? Gracefully done it? Yeah, he's gracefully taken on this role. Like, it's not really been a turbulent start for him. There's been some hiccups, but for the most part, he's been good. And the team seems to clearly believe in him. Joe Mazzulla has been very vocal about, this is our guy. We have high expectations for him, and we think that he can live up to those. I don't think he's saying that, like, the way he's saying it, if they don't believe that. I think if they didn't really believe in him, you'd hear, like, oh, he's really good tonight. Like, he was awesome. Like, very bland, very coach speak. He wouldn't go the extra mile to be like, look, we need him to do this every day. Like, we believe in him. Like, he's shown us that he can do it. Like, he would not put that out there. So I think Nemi has done a lot of work this summer to get himself where he's at, and it's starting to translate to really good basketball from him. And that's really important for this team because they need him to be a starting level center to compete, to be competitive. Because if he wasn't, they'd be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, agree. Haven't talked about the second leading scorer in the game. This may have been Sam Hauser was man on fire. Most threes made in a quarter in a game this season. In the first, he had 5. He was 5 of 6. He was incensed. He made 4 in a row, missed 1. Somebody got the offensive rebound, made his 5th. Sick. His defense continues to impress me. He's been great on defense these last couple games in particular. So he deserves that credit. I mean, this is just exactly what you need from him. Make your shots. He's 7 of 12 every night. He's not going to give you 7 of 13 every night, but he's been red hot to start the season. This is the level of scoring you need from him to a certain degree with the Celtics offense. So good job.
Yeah, I agree. I think they need consistent shooting around Jaylen if this team's really going to work. And he, to his credit, has been very good this season to start. I think he had 1 cold game. I don't think he was great against Philly, but for the most part, he's been consistent. He had a great game today, really ignited the crowd. Like we talked about the Celtics matching what Cleveland brought in the first quarter. Sam Hauser was the guy. Like it was him. He came in the game, 4 of 4 from 3, like Jack said, 5 of 6 in the quarter. If he doesn't do that, this game goes a lot differently. The Cavs probably get a comfortable lead. The Celtics might maybe kind of get out of control, and then it just kind of spirals. But he proves how valuable he is. And I think that's something that people need to really sit on and think about because myself included, we all kind of think that he can be replaced at times, and that just isn't the case. Or like easily replaced. There will be guys in the NBA who you can trust to shoot a high volume of threes efficiently, to shoot a variety of threes. Like he's not just sitting there catching and shooting. He's doing some of these without even bringing the ball down. He's coming off screens. He's a good off-ball mover. He plays decent defense. Like there's a lot of things that go into this. And he's going to have a big role on this Celtics team and be consistent with it if they're going to be successful. Because, again, if he doesn't do that today, then they maybe just have the wheels come off real fast.
Definitely. So I'm going to lump them together. Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, still not great shooting the ball, 4 of 20 combined. I want to know your thoughts. I came away from this game. Concern's not a fair word. Derek White doesn't look very good handling the pressure of being the second option. Like I don't think he's responded to it super well. It's very early. Like again, with everything, like don't jump to conclusions on the record. Don't jump to conclusions on maybe Josh Minott's just having a good couple games. Like there's nothing that can be definitive at this point. But he doesn't look great handling that pressure as a secondary option. However, Peyton does. Peyton's like shooting worse than Derek, but I think he's doing a better job leading the offense through the struggles of not having Jason Tatum. This isn't me saying, oh, stop playing Derek, play Peyton. But honestly, I think this team works best when Jaylen is the first option to run the offense. Peyton is the second option to run the offense. Then you have Derek too, but Derek thriving in more of an off-ball role. Like there was a large portion of this game. I know they didn't finish this way. Peyton was 4-13. Derek was 5 of 20. There was a large portion of this game where Derek was shooting like better than Peyton. Peyton got a couple buckets at the end of the game that brought up that efficiency a little bit, but large portion of this game where Derek was shooting better, but it just kind of felt like Peyton was leaving a bigger mark. Obviously, he had 10 assists, so it shows in that regard, but that's sort of been the feeling I've had, and I don't think it necessarily matters in terms of like, 1A, number 1, number 2, number 3, blah, 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 because I think they're just going to play flowy. But Peyton's looked a lot more comfortable, in my opinion, handling the pressure of having, more guys, more pressure. He's handling the more pressure.
Yeah, I'm actually like kind of bummed that you said it all because I was going to be like, actually, I don't think we should talk about these guys together because I think they've played at different levels. I completely agree with you on Peyton Pritchard. Peyton Pritchard had 10 assists today. Peyton Pritchard in the first half was pulling the strings. He was making great reads, and he's more than comfortable putting pressure on the defense, driving past defenders, getting into the paint. Like he's doing the kind of things you need shot creators to do to open up the floor for the rest of the guys. I'm sorry. There's no reason for Derek White to have 20 shots. There's just not. They're not good shots. Derek White settles more than anybody on this team right now. It's so different than what we saw in the preseason, where in the preseason we saw him kind of get creative and he was doing step backs and he looked comfortable with the pressure. Now his shot is just, there's 10 seconds left on the shot clock. I'm going to take a 3 from 5 feet behind the line with a guy like relatively close to me. Like, I don't understand this. Is this a thing in the NBA? Like, you just do a podcast and you suck? Like, is that what happens? Like, you just don't play good basketball anymore when you start speaking into a microphone? Like Paul George is like the poster boy of this. Draymond, like the back end of his career hasn't been like the same level as it once was.
Yeah.
I'm not, this is a joke. I'm making fun of it. I don't think that if he didn't do a podcast, he would be shooting 50% and 40%. But like, it is just kind of funny that he joins a long list of NBA dudes that have podcasts that all of a sudden people love to make fun of. He needs to be better. That's the real point. This is like, I think you really like painted it well. More than anything to me, I don't know if this like erases the possibility that he could be good, but it's just annoying. Like, get it together. Make the shots that you've made for years. And I understand, like, playing basketball, confidence is a real thing. It can be really difficult to trust yourself at times when you don't feel great about your shot, when you haven't been playing well, and that plays into it for sure. But the Celtics need him to be good. They need him to be able to make threes. They need him to be able to create. And he's not doing any of that right now. He's just taking – how many shots did the Celtics take today? Total. Let me see if I can find it quickly before I just ask you. They took 95 shots.
I've got it. Yeah.
He took 20 of those. He took over a fifth of their shots. One of every 5 shots was a Derek White shot. That can't happen with the way he's shooting. 25% in the game. His season numbers are bad. And I wouldn't say a lot. I would say a fair amount of these shots are not shots that need to be taken.
I want to go back. I have to go back and look at them. There's definitely some that are like, you can search for something better. But the last thing I want is Derek White to stop trying to score. Like, I don't want him to stop
altogether. But like the ones that you can try a little harder to get something, that like
sure,
see if you can get something a little bit better than a.
And this is all not to say, like, Derek White's still an impactful player. He's playing great defense. He's spacing the floor. He's at least creating that space. But it's just he hasn't looked super comfortable in that on-ball primary creator or secondary, I guess, creator with Jaylen, or primary when he's on the floor by himself role as much as Peyton. So I wonder if a little shift there in terms of who has the ball as much as they do could be worth it. But the last thing I want is for him to stop shooting the ball because, like you said, confidence is a real thing. This stretch happened last year, by the way, for Derek too. Like there's a stretch where he sucked for a little bit. They need to get it back. So I'm not worried. It's just something that's been happening.
I do want to share that there was a point in this game in the fourth quarter that the offense that was run by Derek and also Peyton was on the floor was so bad that I had to get up from my seat, walk over to Jack and be like, hey, is Jaylen hurt? Why is he not in the game? Because they are lost.
He sat for a minute, by the way.
And that minute went
like 2
bad.
minutes, yeah.
That minute was bad enough to get me out of my seat to be like, did I miss something? Did he hurt himself? Why is he not out there? They need him. The Cavs had like an 8-0 run or something in the time that he came out the game. It was like 118 or they were up 18, and then all of a sudden it was down to like 10 or 9. I was like, what am I watching?
Let me look. Brown or sub out. Let me see. Sub or for Brown. Pritchard for Brown 7-10. And then 7-10 to 425. In that time, it was 1, 2, 3, 4. It was 3 to 4.
So it was not that different.
No, but the Celtics did have. It was 3 to 4, and the three was at the very start of that time period. So the Celtics went scoreless for a large chunk of that time. There was a Derek White missed 3, a Minott missed 3, a Derek missed 3, a Derek missed floater, and then Jaylen came back in the game for Hauser. But yeah,
it's just ugly stuff, man. I'm not rooting against Derek White, like that's for sure. I'd rather be wrong, or I don't even want to say wrong. I'm not like doubting him. I'm telling you what I'm seeing. It just doesn't look good. He doesn't look like he's right for this right now. I don't know what is going on. I still want to like hold out some sort of like we need to put like an asterisk on this because he had a sprained wrist on the injury report on Sunday, like on his shooting hand. If he was at the podium today, I might have been like, is that sprained wrist like a thing? Like I wouldn't have said it like, is it affecting your shot? Like, is that bothering you? Because I feel like these numbers are not just like out of thin air. I feel like if he's dealing with a wrist sprain on his shooting hand, it's not nothing.
It happens. Slump happens. I'm not worried about it.
He's also not been listed on the report since then, for what it's worth.
I don't know. It could just be a really bad slump, and would love to see him break out of it. But outside of that, last couple players that we have mentioned, Baylor was, I thought, fine in his minutes. He's just running around.
Played good defense, actually.
Yeah,
credit to him.
Anthony Simons was pretty good. Did his job as the spark plug scorer.
I want to talk about
6 from 3. Sure.
Anthony Simons is a great catch and shoot 3-point shooter. Fantastic. He fits great. When they actually use him like that and do that, when they give him the watch this possessions, it does not go well. And I noticed it with my own eyes today. Every time he got a catch and shoot 3, I was like, man, it feels like this is going in. I'm going to have to look into it in the little break between games here and just be like, what is his catch and shoot 3-point percentage? Because I bet it is super high. He looks smooth every time he takes one. It looks confident. The ball hardly ever hits the rim. It looks awesome. I love Anthony Simons taking catch and shoot 3s. It is a good shot. So credit to him for making it. And I honestly thought there was less of the bad today and just more of the off-ball use too. I think there were a few where it was like he did floaters and just a little bit of junk there, but not too much. More good than bad.
He loves a little step back 1 foot LaMelo ball mid-range shot. That's what I've learned.
Yeah, that's what it was. And that one almost went in, actually. It rolled around I'm not saying it was great, but I was like, oh wow, he's gonna get away with that, and it rolled off the rim.
Yeah. No, listen, I liked his effort on defense. I think his effort on defense has been good the whole season. Excuse me, sorry. It's just if he can stick to the I'm going to play off the ball, I'm going to play catch and shoot, I'm going to play in that way, great. Would be a great fit on the Celtics team. It's just that every once in a while where he's like, it's Anthony Simons time, that you're like, oh, it's Anthony Simons time. I see. I get it. But fine. Good in this game. I thought he looked impressive. Good spark off the bench. Sharman, like I said, was pretty good. Luka Garza, second straight, pretty good game in a row, in my opinion. 10 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, steal a block. Had 3 fouls. That's always going to be a little bit of a problem, but fighting hard on the glass, 5 defensive rebounds, and 16 minutes Sorry, 5 offensive rebounds. All of his rebounds were offensive. But he was fighting like a motherfucker, even on the defensive glass. He had some of those Jaylen, no stat rebounds where he boxed out his guy and helped somebody else get one. So give him that credit. I thought he was good. Tillman didn't play much. It's fine. Ugo didn't play much either, which was a little weird. But I think didn't really need him. So it worked. And then Jordan and then Boucher, DNP. Boucher, we haven't talked about a lot yet. Kind of just doesn't look like he's been that great so far.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't play today. He's had moments of chaos in some of these games. He was really good in the Knicks game. He was impactful. He was playing hard. Since then, haven't seen much from him. Probably why he didn't play today. Other guys have shown you more and have been more worthy of the minutes. Of the guys who played, who would you play him over? Would you play him over Garza? No. You wouldn't play him over Hauser. You wouldn't play him over Minott. You wouldn't play him over Ugo. You wouldn't play him over Shireman today. I don't know. So if the plan was to just not play him today and he was aware of the plan, that is poor. I don't think that he should be notified that he's not playing in games for no reason. But I think if the game presents itself to where other players are playing well or they're fitting well into what they're doing, then that should be okay and that should be part of the game plan. But I think Boucher's just in a weird place because he doesn't really help you with the rebounding despite having the size. And that's where I think the problem with the rotation comes in for him. Because that is undoubtedly the measuring stick, the X factor for the Celtics is, can they be impactful on the glass? Yes, no, as a trio of seats just falls off one of the risers that they're moving right now. Crazy to see. If you're not able to be strong on the glass, athletic on the glass, or just grab a bunch of rebounds, I don't really know how you're going to play yourself onto the floor unless you're reliable from 3, which he hasn't quite been yet. And to his, credit, fault, they haven't asked him to take a lot of threes. We talked a lot about it when he joined the team in the summer, and it was his best 3-point shooting seasons came at his highest volume of threes. He's not really able to get in a rhythm shooting these threes if he's only taking one a game. He's going to have to take a couple. But if he's not earning the time to be out there to take a couple, then the formula doesn't work. Like, I stand by it. I like him as a player. I like what we've seen from him at times. But in this game, with the guys who played in this rotation, I don't think there's anybody I would have been like, would have loved to see Boucher over him.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just kind of how it's been, and it is. Anything else? I think we covered about all of it.
No, we can toss back to the rest of the show. I mean, really good win.
Yeah,
Cup
Mitchell
Friday.
can't miss
I
against
can't
the
wait.
Celtics until he did. Actually,
Yeah,
that was crazy.
He went pretty cold in the second half. I didn't remember
He went
much from him.
5 of 5, and then did make a shot the rest of the game. I just realized that.
Well, he was fucking due.
Wow.
He was fucking due to leave these guys alone. That's what I'll say about
Jalen
that.
Tyson had 19. Evan Mobley had 19? What?
Evan Mobley had a bunch of baskets when Josh Minott wasn't guarding him. He had like 5, 6, 7 straight points early in the fourth quarter.
I can't wait to see that matchup stats tomorrow when they come out.
Yeah, that'll be fun to look at.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all I got. We'll throw it back to the rest of the pod. All right. Well, who knows how we were feeling after that game, but we'll let you decide. Let's go to the emails. We have a bunch to catch up on. A reminder, as always, you guys can email us at hbtcpod@gmail.com. That's hbtcpod@gmail.com. We have 4 today from 4 different people, which is the first time in a while. So let's get through them. Jacob Lindholm says, questions for the podcast. Hey, y'all. Hope this finds you well. I wanted to clarify my question from C's versus Pell's pregame chat. Question was on why would Joe change the style of play or want to change the style of play that won a championship, especially with new styles more physically demanding, and it seems to be the cause of poor rebounding. I believe Jack in a recent pod said that the new styles lead to guy being out of position. I was speculating. I think that's part of it. It was also a question for when Tatum comes back, whether it be this year coming off an injury that will be taxed with this higher pace. Now, I do understand that we lost you guys for the switch everything style from 24 and that there aren't many players that can fill the Horford and Drew gap on defense, but once the choice was to trade them, shouldn't they have looked for possible replacements that would fit the style Tatum played last season rather than putting them in a new one? Just thought that the way Joe is changing for the sake of it rather than fill triangle or pop Spurs where it's the same style as different faces. Would love for y'all's take. Thank you for the great content, Jacob. I mean, in an ideal world, absolutely, right? I think that would definitely be the best practice. There's just the whole reason the Celtics had to trade Drew and Kristaps was to save money, and finding effective replacements would cost a lot of money because it takes a lot of talented players. Like you're just not going to find guys that can replace that for the minimum. And so it was almost like, with what we could possibly get this summer, what style of basketball do we need to play? And this was just the one that made the most sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is just the best way to put it. It's like you have to make do with what you have. You're kind of putting together a budget basketball team, especially considering $60 million of your salary cap space is just in street clothes because he's recovering from an Achilles injury, which is, to be expected. It's fine. But that makes it even harder to put together a roster that can fill the void or pick up where they left off because they don't have the assets to go out there and get those guys. Like even Anthony Simons makes $27 million, but like that was kind of a salary dump for Portland, even though like it was and it wasn't. It was just like they had seen enough, and maybe he fits really well here. Like we'll know more about his fit after tonight's game against Cleveland. Like it'll just be more information for us to take in and analyze and be like, this was good, this was bad, and so on. But he certainly is not somebody who's going to fill the Drew Holiday shoes on defense. So you have to maximize the most of your players. And that's something Mazzulla has done really, really well since he became the coach of the Celtics. It's why, I think guys were able to come in and fit so easily, and they're trying to do that, but they have to do it in a different way. As Jack said, it's like, well, the strengths of this team are not necessarily going to be defense. So they have to find a way to maximize the pace or whatever it may be. And right now the pace isn't great. First to Floor did a great discussion about it on their pod last night, and they were talking about it. And somebody in the Discord was saying the pace is actually really bad because the defense is slowing them down. Like offensively, they're playing a little bit faster, but it's taking them longer to get off the defensive side of the ball because they can't get on the glass as well. So that'll be something hopefully they iron out here down the stretch.
I disagree with that notion. I don't think
it was a notion. It was like statistics. Like they had went on some website and found it.
It doesn't make sense to me. Maybe I'm thinking about it wrong. I need to watch. Anyways, next email. Thank you, Jacob. Appreciate you. RJ says, look, I'm not saying I called Monday's result, but I kind of call it. And then he linked us what I can only assume is an exact part of the pregame show that RJ was on. If it links me to a timestamp, he literally made a 13-second clip. Okay, here.
Nothing makes you happier than success. And when you succeed, you start picking up other stuff too. So they could drop a 30-point victory on top of New Orleans tonight, and that might turn the corner. Who knows?
It was, in fact, a 32, I think, point victory in New Orleans. He said, thanks for having me on the pregame, guys. Always fun talking with you. Even more fun when the C's go on to win in convincing fashion. Bonus fun, JB had to sit with 10 minutes left. The C's only up by 6, and he doesn't have to return because Boston goes on a 33-7 demolition of the Pels. Fun stat fact, the Celtics starting 5-shot combined 5 of 22 on 3, so the C's won without really fixing Derek or Peyton's long-range shooting, said Dayton. Scary stuff. Be well. RJ, who knows it's the Zion-less, DeJounte-less Pels, but still a 32-point win still feels good. Still feels good. Definitely not exactly against the biggest, test of competition, but you did call it.
Pretty on the nose. Jack kind of called it too. Jack was all in on the big blowout when I was like the only one that I was like, I don't really know. I thought that they would win, but I kind of felt like it was going to go the way it had been going until they blew it wide open, where it was going to be like they're going to have to fight for this and find their footing and find a way to beat the Pelicans. They did a good job. Hopefully they can carry it over against the Cavs. Hopefully they have like a little bit more confidence. Hopefully they're able to take some of the things that went well, especially with the bench guys. Like, to me personally, that is one of the bigger victories within that victory is like your bench was the aspect that people were concerned about. I personally was concerned about it throughout the game. I was like, man, these guys just can't really get it together as a unit. And then they come out in the fourth quarter and just nuke them. So hopefully they are like a little bit more confident, a little bit more able to play with chemistry, and they can help them compete at least against a really good Cleveland team.
Yeah, definitely. Next one from Isaac says, hey guys, hope you're having a great day. I know the season is early, but do you think that the C's should trade for a big man? If so, who do you have in mind, or do you think they'll look for free agents for that need? Love to hear what you have to say. Bleed green. I think they need to address the big man problem by the time Tatum comes back next season or for next season. Do I think they will trade for a big man mid-year this year? I would bet on no.
I don't think they should trade for a big man this year because I just think you should not give up assets to try and be better in this specific season. Like, I think you just kind of hope that something works internally and you succeed that way. Like, you cannot push more assets to the table for something that kind of feels like a sunk cost at this point. But I think, to build on that point, finding what works is important for when Tatum comes back. Like, for example, I think Spoonie shared a stat, and it was like Nemi and Josh Minott together are really good. Like the net rating, the on-court, off-court stuff tells you that those two guys, when they're sharing the floor, are going to help the Celtics win more minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of that probably has to do with Nemi's size and Minott's willingness to hit the glass. And I think that is the kind of combination you're going to need to find to solve this rebounding problem. It's less about the actual big men. I'm sure you could use depth behind Nemi or somebody ahead of Nemi if you really feel like you need somebody better. I think it's a little too soon to make a call on Nemi, but for the most part, like, he's been good. Like, if you're looking for problems with the Celtics, like, you're not going Nemi as Kate is the reason why they're losing games. It's just not.
He's not number one. No, he's not perfect.
More of like
he's still
sure
messing up on the glass and fouls, but he's been overall good. The only way I think they trade for a big man is if it's like, all right, we don't think Simons is a part of the team, we're gonna try to trade him. If they like get a big man back in a trade, sure, like fine, like that's maybe take a swing on somebody, but I don't think there will be a direct let's go out get this big man type of deal. But who knows? All right, thank you, Isaac. Last email from Paolo. Is it better for Brown to play guard this year? Hi guys, without this being a knock on Pritchard, I'm more and more attached to the idea of starting Brown and White in the backcourt with Ugo, Minott, and Keita. It has to be potentially be a lot of fun, a little clunky on offense. At the same time, I have this idea without JT, KP, Allen Cornet, it's far better for Brown to play guard and not be left on an island fighting in the front court. He's a strong dude, yes, but he's never been a great rebounder. What do you think? Ciao, Paolo. I get the notion, and I do think that'll be a fun lineup that we'll see time this year. I think whenever one of Derek Payton or Jaylen has not been on the floor, the offense has tanked into oblivion. And it's especially significant with obviously Jaylen, but like anytime, like that 3-man lineup needs to be on the floor for your offense to be at its best. And unfortunately, the best version of this year's offense is like not even that incredible. It's just like an okay. You know what I mean? Like I like I said, I like the notion, and I do think we should see that lineup at points. But I think keeping Pritchard in the starting lineup alongside White and Brown makes the most sense, in my opinion.
I could kind of see it, but even like in that combination that you sent, Paulo, I think Ugo is the 2 guard. Like Ugo is not that big of a guy. Jaylen is a bigger player. He's stronger. I'm pretty sure he's taller. Even if like the .com says Ugo's taller, he's not. He's not a very big guy. So I think that you're still going to need Jaylen to play in the front court and play front court minutes. It's just a question of whether or not the team as a unit can rebound. And I think some of that is on Jaylen, but it depends on who gets switched on the perimeter and how well they as a group can recover and hit the glass. I think that was one thing the teams from the last several seasons really thrived. And I think Tatum helps you there too, because if Tatum is switched onto a bigger guy, he's still hitting the glass. Like he's good for 8 to 11 rebounds a game. Like that's not nothing. And that's something that kind of got lost in the mail this summer when you see Al and Luke and Kristaps all go somewhere else is, oh, Jason Tatum's hurt. And we're all like, oh yeah, that's 30 points a game you have to replace, but it's also a significant amount of rebounding you're going to have to replace. And some of that is just literally grabbing the ball, but some of it is boxing out, it's size, and you lose a lot of those things with Tatum.
Yeah, definitely. Thank y'all for the emails. Let's jump on over to the NBA section. Check out the NBA standings, see who's up, see who's down. It's still a little early for like full on, oh my God, this is going to do this, but you can get a little sense of at least who's starting hot. And it is not exactly the teams that I thought would start hot. We can start in the Eastern Conference where the Sixers and the Bulls, the last 2 undefeated teams, followed by the Heat, the Cavs, and the Bucks, sitting at 3-1 each. Not exactly what I thought. I see the Wizards and the Nets towards the bottom, which is exactly what I thought. But the Bulls being 3-0 through 3 games is not exactly what I had on my bingo card.
Yeah, let's see. Chicago beat Detroit, Atlanta. Who's the last team they beat? I feel like they beat up on like Orlando. So not bad teams. Like those are all teams that I thought would be playing playoff teams. Like Orlando is 1-3 to start the season. They've had a really rough go at it, and it's probably of the teams that are below 10, like non-play-in teams. Even though 9 through 15 has 1 win or fewer in the Eastern Conference, like they're probably the team that's like, damn it, man! Like I thought it would go better than this.
That stat from the stat I saw from the Magic game, they had 15 points off jump shots the whole game. They can't shoot the ball. They that was from Kirk Goldsberry on the Zach Lowe show. They literally, it was the single lowest jump shot shooting game since I think like January or December of 2023. Like they cannot shoot the ball. They are hit like a terrible jump shooting team. That's just not going to cut it.
There's just like a lot of surprising stuff when you look at the Eastern Conference standings. It's like, why is Miami 3-1? Why is Chicago 3-0? Why is Atlanta 1-3? Orlando 1-3? Like this is very much early season. Certain teams start hot, certain do not. Like there was a year, must have been like 8 to 10 years ago now, that the Orlando Magic were like 8-0 to start the season, and then they ended up like not even making the playoffs like before they had the play-in tournament. And it was like, what's going on in Orlando? They're so nasty. And then they just sucked. Like Chicago had a season, I think it was the 21-22 season, where they started off red hot. They were really good.
Brooklyn
then they had a bunch of guys get hurt. Yeah, Brooklyn started off like too good. Then they were like, trade the whole team away. So there's like a lot of this stuff.
The Jazz 2 years ago? You remember the Jazz?
Yeah, they were just kind of hanging around. We were like, are they actually good? And then they just fell off the cliff.
Everyone's like, Will Hardy's the GOAT.
So, like, do I expect Chicago, Miami to still be in the top 6? No. I'm not that surprised with Philly. I think I didn't expect them to be 4-0, but let's see. They played Boston. They played Charlotte. They just beat Washington. And forgive me, I forget who the last team they played is of their schedule. But, Orlando. They beat Orlando. So, I probably would have, like, if you told me they would beat the Celtics, predicted them to be 3-1. Like, they've taken care of business. Embiid has played progressively better from opening night against Boston, where he was putrid, terrible. Him having a minutes restriction is probably the reason why they beat the Celtics, because if they had kept him in, things would have gone far better for Boston in the fourth quarter. But with that being said, the reason why the Celtics lost on top of that is Maxey, who's been awesome. Tyrese Maxey, I saw you tweet it yesterday, might be a top 15 guy in the league. He's averaging 37 points a game through 4 games. He has been unbelievable. And when we were doing the preseason rankings and like projections and what we thought, he was a big reason why I felt good about Philadelphia, regardless of Embiid playing or not. It is very much Celtics bias. It's very much every time he plays Boston, he just goes off. And I'm like, this guy's nasty. But he's starting to kind of convey that and play that against other teams now. And he looks really good doing it. It's going to be interesting to see when they start to run in more Eastern Conference giants. Like besides, I don't even want to say Boston, they haven't really played anybody that was supposed to be that great besides Orlando. So let's see what happens. Like Celtics will see him again on Friday. They'll see Philly a lot early in the season, actually. They played them opening night. They played them Friday. Then they played them again on November 11th, I think. So they play them a lot of times really, really fast here. We'll see more of them. New York, Milwaukee was a good game yesterday. Probably Milwaukee being 3-1 is a little bit surprising too, because they've played some quality teams. Their one loss to Cleveland. Probably wouldn't have picked them to beat New York yesterday. They beat Toronto too, and I think they beat Atlanta. I really wish I had everyone's schedules right in front of me. I'm trying to like go from memory, but them being 3-1 is a little surprising considering it's Giannis and the fellas. Giannis, who had like
I picked him as my 4 seed. I believe
Jack was in on Milwaukee. I was low on Milwaukee. Giannis had like the craziest non-travel call yesterday that everyone online was mad about. And I saw Corrales do like a explanation of why it was not a travel, because he was still kind of in a dribble motion while he chopped his steps at first, doing a hesitation, then just broke out of it and took 2 more steps. So he took like 4 or 5 steps on his way to the basket. Everyone was mad, but they put together a really nice close against New York on Peacock last night. And then any other East stuff that you really are like floored by? I think there's nobody that's that surprising. Charlotte winning 2 games, maybe.
Not particularly. I think Miami is the biggest one for me outside of Chicago. Chicago's obviously impressive. Giddey looks good. Dosunmu looks good. Vucevic has been great. The Heat are just look like a competent team, which I guess shouldn't be surprising. If you think about it, they got Norman Powell, who's going to elevate their offense, which is something desperately needed. And then Davion Mitchell is averaging 8.3 assists and 1.5 turnovers in 4 games. So that's pretty damn good. But
they always
Western
find these guys.
I know. Thunder are 5-0, and they've played 2 double overtime games. They're incredible. The Spurs are also here. They're fucking insane. Wemby is nasty. They're going to be even better than I anticipated. Warriors, Nuggets, Jazz, Clippers, crazy. Lakers, Wolves, Blazers, Grizzlies, and then you've got the Rockets, a little bit of a slow start. The Mavs, and nothing at the bottom outside of the Rockets getting off to a slow start surprises me, and I'm not worried about the Rockets. They have a plus 7.7 net differential, so they'll be fine. But shout out the Jazz for playing winning basketball, and shout out Svi Mykhailiuk, who has been starting for them and playing 30 minutes a night in their winning spree. So shout out Svi.
Yeah, I think San Antonio being an absolute wagon is kind of the wildest early season thing that feels very real. I also think Golden State feels really real. If you I thought they'd be pretty decent this season.
Nasty.
It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out throughout the season, considering Steph, Jimmy, Al Horford, Draymond are all very old. So they're going to need time off. Guys are going to pick up injuries. They're going to miss time. See how well their winning ways hold up when that comes around. But San Antonio, every time you go on Twitter, you see something different of Wemby's. He had a 360 layup through traffic, something that John Wall was doing 10 years ago. This 7'4" guy plus 7'4" plus guy from France is just easily dominating games down in Texas. They are going to be a problem. They are ahead of schedule. They've played Dallas. I'm going to pull up their schedule because I don't want to give them too much credit if they haven't played anybody. Schedule. Here we go. You got it, Sam. They have played regular season, Dallas, New Orleans, Brooklyn, Toronto. So they have not exactly run the gauntlet so far. However, they still look good. Wemby is the type of player that you can feel confident about other teams struggling to try and guard. They're not going to have much of an answer for him on either side of the floor. And as long as he's playing out of his mind, San Antonio should be a really competitive team and a difficult team to beat. Clippers, probably the weirdest team to me. Felt like they'd be better. They probably should be 3-1. They dropped it. They got absolutely like belt to ass by Utah on opening night, which was brutal. And then they dropped another brutal game to the Warriors the other day. I have higher hopes for them. Clippers, what do you have for me?
I think they'll be fine. It's impossible to make any early like assessments. I think the only things that you can't assess are like Wemby's a lot better than I expected. Like individual stuff, maybe. Austin Reeves also looks like the second coming of Christ. He's ridiculous. He's averaging like 38 points through 4 games or something. He's just on a heater to start the year. He won a game against the Kings, which I know is the Kings, but like no Luka, no LeBron, that Lakers team should be the worst team in the NBA. 100%. Like it's awful. And they fucking won anyways. And Reeves dropped 50. So credit to him. But I think that's about it. Rat list, Sam, shall we?
Yeah, we can do the rat list. Man, rat list is it's like rat list, anti-rat list is I had a birthday yesterday. And
everyone say happy birthday, Sam.
Happy birthday to me. Going through Facebook and having to respond to like your mom's friends. It's thoughtful that they're like happy birthday. Then you're gonna kind of go through and be like, thank you. Because like anybody that's like in your life that you talk to regularly just directly messages you and is like happy birthday. And so you don't really have that. But like when somebody's just like posting to your thing and they're like happy birthday, I'm like, okay. So I just waited. I did it all at once. I wasn't gonna go through multiple times and do it. Jack's dad did wish me a happy birthday though. Jack's dad, the Facebook goat of jokes, just posts like a dad joke every single day. Every time I go on there, like if I'm like putting myself to sleep, doing my scroll, Papa Tom has something for me.
Shout out. Yeah, this is why I just don't use Facebook. I never go on Facebook. I won't see it. Sorry. I appreciate it, but I'll never see it. I'll just never see it.
I don't really
Yeah.
I only went on because I knew, like, usually I will go on before I go to sleep and I just kind of scroll because it is like I don't really use Instagram, so it shows me like all the stuff that I don't follow, and it just like tires me out after like 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, time for bed.
Fair. Ratless. So my flight to Detroit was the worst flight I've ever been on. Not in terms of like, turbulence, but so I had a middle
seat,
airline? which Delta, which unfortunately.
Okay.
But it had nothing to do with the airline or the ride. Like it was a smooth flight. It was fine. It was just like the circumstances. So I had a middle seat, which is already just like I don't know if I could ever do again. I'm too big. I can't sit in the fucking middle seat. I get in, I see the seat, and it is 2 people. It's like whatever. Lady that is in the window seat as I'm getting on the plane is like sleeping and like half slumped over into my seat. I'm like, all right, fuck. So I go to wake her up and she doesn't wake up. I like shake her 3 times. I'm like, hello,
oh, no.
hello. And on the third one, her phone like slips out of her hand. And I'm like, all right. And we like called the flight attendants because like she did not move. Like we thought she was like fucking dead or passed out or something.
That would have been
so like we had to call the flight attendants. And they shook her like violently, and she finally woke up. She goes, "Huh? What?" I'm like, "Are you like, bro? What?" And she was like completely disheveled, completely disoriented, either drunk off her ass or the most exhausted person ever. She was like, "I didn't sleep, so I could sleep on the flight. This is like a 5 a.m. flight." And so then she like slept the entire flight. What? Then drop her glasses, like. Begging, like asking the person in front of her, like, "Hey, like, I can't get my glasses. Can you move?" And it's just like the seats don't move. What do you fucking mean? Can you move? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And then the whole flight, she's like, for the first half of the flight, she was like slumped onto the window, which was nice. But then she sort of like rustled around and ended up like on me. I'm like, dude, Jesus Christ! Like, It was just a pain in the ass. And then when we landed, she was like, I can't find this. I can't find this. She's like, I put my phone in my bag. And I'm just like, look on the floor. And of course it was on the floor. You dropped it in your fucking sleeping state. And then she tried to make small talk with me. Like, I don't want to talk to you right now, lady. Like, stop. Like, shut the fuck up, please.
You've thoroughly ruined my day. You don't deserve small talk.
It was brutal. But then flight from Detroit to New Orleans, I switched my seat to a window seat with Delta, which was free. Like they just let me switch, because it was in the same section, and nobody sat in the middle. No, sorry, I switched to an aisle seat for free, and there were people in the middle and the edge, and I was like, fine. But I look up, and it was like there was somebody sitting on an aisle 2 rows in front of me, and then nobody in the window seat. And so I asked the gate agent, I was like, hey, can I? And he let me move to that. Beautiful, so beautiful that I spent like a little bit of extra money to get my own fucking aisle on the JetBlue flight. Like I scoured the seat chart. I'm like, this one has nothing, and I got the window seat and I sat in the row by myself. And you know what? I'll spend that money every fucking time after that Detroit flight. That was miserable.
You're becoming a little bit of a savant there. You're starting to get a real feel for the air.
I cannot sit in the middle seat like that again.
I understand it.
Like unless it's like people I know.
Being a big person, like being tall, you don't have room for your legs.
Exactly. Like, and if I'm like sitting next to like a friend or a family member, like fine, that's one thing because you have a little more comfortability. But that was the most miserable flight I've ever been on. The JetBlue flight though, on the way back, smoothest takeoff, smoothest flight ever. It was like I didn't even know we were taking off. I was like, what the fuck? So
shout out to the JetBlue flight crew.
That woman on the first flight ruined my day, like you said, completely.
You know what's funny about that is like she's like, I stayed up all night so I could sleep on the plane. How long do you think it takes to get from Boston to Detroit? You're not going from Boston to Los Angeles. You're going for an hour and a half, 2 hours to Detroit.
It was like a 1 hour 50 flight. It was like
you still have like 6 hours of sleep you need to find somewhere, and you're not going to find it on the plane.
No, it was. She had to have been drunk. And then she like called somebody to pick her up on like when we landed, and it was like there was no like sense of the moment. It was like, hey, I'm here. Yeah, can you like just talking completely normal? I'm like, dude.
Yeah, like, right in your face.
Holy shit. She's like 45 minutes. I'm like, dude. Shut the fuck up. I was like, sure, please.
It also, like, it probably takes you 45 minutes to get off the plane, wait for everyone to deboard, get your stuff, walk out of the airport, get to the actual pickup point. Like, it's Detroit is not a small airport. Detroit is a hoss of an airport. It's a beautiful airport, but it's huge.
You gotta take a tram to get to the fucking baggage claim.
Oh, the tram's awesome. When I was a kid, I used to love the tram.
Tram's fun.
Ratless, anti-ratless, the Game 3 of the World Series went 18 innings. They played essentially 2 baseball games in one game.
Yep.
Dodgers end up winning. Something about Game 3s in Los Angeles. It made me think about Game 3 against the Red Sox in 2018. My dad and I stayed up and watched the whole thing. It was awesome.
Just for them to fucking lose.
Yeah, just for them to lose. But they ended up, that was the only game they lost.
They won, though.
They'd be too upset about it. Then the Blue Jays came back and won the Game 4. So there's a series on everyone's hands.
Go Jays.
Really awesome stuff. Seems like baseball's having a moment. Like a lot of people are excited about it online, so that's good. We also have like sports equinoxes happening. Like we had one on Monday. Probably will have one. Oh, we might not have another one because Game 5 will be Wednesday night of the World Series. Then they will have a day off, so there will be NFL Thursday, NBA Thursday, hockey Thursday, but no baseball. And then baseball will probably be back Friday, Saturday for Game 6 and 7. Or yes, yeah, because they don't do 2-2-1-1-1. They do 2-3-2. So probably won't get another sports equinox unless you count college football, which is a lovely, lovely game. But
don't count it. Ratless, it's not his fault, but my beautiful Cam Scadaboo snapped his leg in half this week, and so my fantasy team is fucked, and I'm sad.
You've fallen victim to injuries bad this year.
Poor bastard.
Can you tank?
Yeah,
Do you have your own draft
is out too. I don't have my draft pick, but I don't want to tank because I have a draft pick of somebody who is even worse than me. So, and we do a lottery, so it doesn't fucking matter if I tank.
Sounds a lot like another team that we know.
But Yeah, but I'm 4-4, so I'm not like I'm not bad this year. I'm like fine.
Yeah.
I've won three. I've
It
won
just
3 in a
doesn't
row.
seem like
It's
it's going to go
just
well for you down
no.
the
And the
road.
worst part is my running backs are bad because I have Genty Scadaboo, but Scadaboo's hurt now. I have Kamani Vidal, who's the Chargers running back right now, but when Hampton comes back, he's going to be like a backup again. And my other running back's fucking Travion Henderson on the Pats, who has just been like ass for this season. So I'll have to piece some performances together, unfortunately. And then Jane Daniels is still hurt, but that doesn't matter for me as much because Daniel Jones has been insane. So yeah, that's all I got though. I don't know if you have anything else.
Rat list is half year anniversaries. So, my girlfriend and I were having this discussion yesterday of whether or not people in long standing relationships still celebrate half year anniversaries. We are 2.5 years in. The half anniversary happens to fall right next to my birthday. So she's like, I think we should celebrate it. And I'm like, what if we did not celebrate it? And she was like, I'm going to ask my friends. We're going to see if they do it. We must have got asked like 8 people. One set of people said yes. That was it. Everyone else was like, no. I asked somebody who she told me to ask. That was like, that person will definitely say yes. And I'll read you verbatim what he said to me because it was hilarious. He goes, I said, hey, do you and your wife celebrate half anniversary? He said, what the heck is a half anniversary? Only full yearly anniversary.
No, I mean like I'll take any excuse to just like go out and get dinner and like have a nice night. Like do it like as that, you know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't have to be
Sure.
this big thing. Like you can go like hang out. Like Michaela had a reservation for this like really like this nice like Italian steakhouse that she made like a month in advance, and it just so
Mm,
happened to be like a day like 2 days after our like 6 months.
yes. But it's
And it
also
was like
your
the first
first
6
6
months too.
months.
But we wouldn't have celebrated it otherwise. You know what I'm saying? So even
Mm.
like even that, you know what I'm saying? This was just it's around this anyways. Like the waiter comes up and like says, "Oh, is it an anniversary or something?" We just looked at each other like, kind of, not really. Like, we were just like, like nah. So yeah,
Yeah, and
proving your point.
one couple that said yes, like this is like a couple that like check every box. Like we want this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing. Like of course, like no doubt in my mind, minus 1,000, yes that they do it. So that was a
Yeah,
nice,
I
fun little quest.
don't think I have any other rat list. New Orleans was fun. Detroit was fine. I didn't really spend a lot of time in Detroit. Is the only reason I like say nothing much about it because like I was there early. I slept in the morning because I was catching up on sleep from the New York bus, and then
You had a little
I
bit of
went to
time
the
in New
game.
Orleans though, because you got
I
there
would,
early in the day, and then you stayed for most of the second day, and then
I
you took a
did. I
flight
didn't
home
do
late.
much the second day. I kind of sat in a coffee shop and just worked because I wanted to catch up on stuff.
Yeah,
But first day,
that makes
walked around,
sense.
went to Bourbon Street, saw it, Canal Street, saw it, cool, cute.
So,
Um, I mean, what else are you gonna do on a street? It's a fucking street.
what are you?
Uh,
So, which
yeah.
place are you most excited to go to this year? I haven't asked you this
So
yet.
New Orleans was one of the more exciting ones for me because I've always just like been intrigued with what the city
It's
looks
all
like, and
downhill.
it's a very cool city. Like it was a very cute, like architecture style. Like everything about it was very like, oh, this is kind of cool to like walk around and be in. Ended up getting it's like kind of like odd because it's like you're supposed to get Southern food. We got like Thai food because I mean I just like Asian food. Noah likes Asian food. It
Yeah,
was easy. And we were there, but I had like like gumbo or not gumbo, Gulf shrimp pad thai and like these crispy chicken wings. Like it was very good, and it was like you could tell it was a little bit of like New Orleans Thai food. So that was good. But other than that, Denver, I'm really excited to go to. I'm going there, Denver later this year. Never been to Denver. I've never been to California, so I guess
you're
just
gonna go, right?
seeing. Yeah, I'm going to San Francisco, LA. That'll be fun. I think every other city that I'm going to that just can't be true. I have to be lying to you. I'm
Philadelphia.
going to Chicago. Been to great.
Are you
Uh,
going Friday, or are you not going to
I
run the back to back?
I think I'm going Friday. I'm on the fence, but I think I'll end up going. Um, I've
I don't
never
know
been to
why you hate
Atlanta.
it
I'll
so
go to
much. I
Atlanta.
actually like Philly.
I'm just a hater, man. I'm going back to Orlando, but I've been to Orlando more this year than might ever go to in my life.
You didn't
like
go
I
see
went
the
to
mouse once.
no, I did. We went to Disney Springs. We just didn't go to an actual park.
Oh yeah, you
But,
weren't paying an arm and a leg to go see the mouse.
Yeah, Disney Springs is free. I'll see the fucking mouse trap. I don't know what you want to call it. Whatever. Fuck them. I'm not giving them my fucking money, bro. Yeah, I can't think of any other cities. I've never been to Houston. I'm going to Houston. I've been to Dallas. I'm going back there. I've been to Chicago. Been to Brooklyn. Never been to Phoenix. Going to Phoenix. It's cool. I think that's it. I can't remember what other ones. So there's probably a couple more, but yeah, I'm going back to Detroit. Woo. But that's all I got for you right now.
All right. Well, we can wrap it up there. It's been a long show for those of you that listen to the game recap and the pod part. So again, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. We are here every day. So, stick around. Full pods, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, game recaps morning after each game. Other videos are here on the days in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. Also, pre-game streams, half hour before every game. It's been a lot of fun this year, rotating in guests every time we do it. Friday, I believe we're going to have Oliver Fox from Celtics blog on, which will be a lot of fun to talk to him. People in the comments did not like Oliver when he was on our show talking about Luka a summer or two ago. It was crazy, but he'll be here. And then we've got Spotify and Apple. We're there too. If you want the pods and recaps, we are there every single day. So go ahead, follow. They'll go right to your feed. Leave a 5-star review. We'd appreciate that. Email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Read them every single time we do the show. hbtcpod@gmail.com. Big thanks to everyone who sent them in today. Socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook's the name of the podcast. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's Jax1NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Taco, come on.
Taco's having some fun here.